Welcome to the Mindful Queer channel. My name is John Kim, and welcome to Ask the Mindful Queer. In this segment of my channel, I will be answering questions for people in the queer community on anything fitness, wellness, and well-being related. So ask away, send me a DM if you have any questions, and let's get started. The first question comes from Reddit, and the question asks, can a gym bro on here explain something to me? So I'm fairly newish to the gym. I'm 19 years old and a freshman in college. I have access to a good amount of machines and free weights. I'm just super confused on how many sets and reps of stuff I should be doing. I describe myself as kind of skinny fat, and I'm looking to get rid of my stomach and gain an aesthetically muscular body. I'm not looking to get huge, just more muscular and toned, I guess. My question is, how many reps should I be doing and how heavy should I go? I asked blah 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 blah. Like, should I be maxing out on each set or what? Question mark. Let me know. Also, if you have any tips on dieting that may help. And if this helps, I'm 5'9" and 180. I'm going to categorize this as part of getting strong. One of the 4 pillars in how I teach you how to be strong, mindful, confident, and resilient. There could probably be a little resilient piece in here, especially when it comes to nutrition. So we'll dive into that a little bit deeper. First, with the questions that you asked and answering those first. So how many reps and sets? Well, to be honest, it kind of depends where you're starting. So to give a little background, I've been personal training for 8 years. I have worked at a couple different places. Now I own my own business and run that full time. And I have been training on my own for at least a decade now. It's a long time. I feel old. In that decade, I've done everything. I went from bodybuilding, I've done HIIT, strength, rehab stuff when I hurt my back, full body, athletic conditioning when I was swimming. I still stick with the full body stuff just because it's efficient and it works. So let me break this down for you. So first, with all my clients that I start with, no matter where they are, I do a foundation program with them. That's 4 weeks long. And it's the same program that you do for 4 weeks. So in terms of how many reps and sets you should do, it's kind of based on what cycle you're on. And I'm going to break this up for you. And this is for anybody else who's just like getting into working out and you want to be able to progress yourself and get better over time. You don't want to stay with the same rep scheme, like 3 sets of 10 for the rest of your life. Because if you do that, you're never going to be able to grow and change and get better. When I first started, I tracked everything, and that's what I recommend to you is track as much stuff as you can. So use a Google spreadsheet, use pen and paper, use your notes app on your iPhone if you have that, whatever works to keep track of your progress and that you will have at the gym. So in my 4-week foundation program, I am able to train my clients through all the different movement patterns. There are 7 different movement patterns. And I'm probably going to go in a lot more detail than you need to know, but this is going to help you in the long run and help you, 1, be injury proof, 2, be able to progress really well and see results, and then 3, just add some variability to your workouts that it's not so boring, because you're going to have to work out for the rest of your life. And so enjoy the process and do it right from the beginning so that you don't have to like keep searching for different workouts to follow or find something that you like or like follow something. This way it's super easy, and as you learn exercises, as you learn the movement patterns, it's really easy to actually make your own program and then just follow different cycles. So I was talking about the cycles. We have hypertrophy, that think of that as higher reps, lower weight, and that's to build muscle. When we do hypertrophy, that's like our growth area. After you've done like a foundation program, it's good to go into a hypertrophy phase. That could range from 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how much time you have. And if you can stick to 6 weeks, I recommend doing 6 weeks of any program. If you are impatient or you don't like doing exercises the same on repeat, then I would say stick with 4, but don't do anything less than 4, because if you don't, you're not going to really see any benefit of any program. So minimum of 4 weeks, aim for 6 weeks. After a hypertrophy phase, it's good to go into a strength phase to really test and try to see how much muscle you really built. So in a strength phase, you're going to get stronger. You're not going to build muscle in our strength phase. Make sure you know the difference. Hypertrophy is where you're going to build muscle. You're not really necessarily get stronger. You're going to build more capacity. Strength phase is when you reduce the reps, but you increase the weight. So that's where you're really trying to get strong and perform. It's really good to go hypertrophy, then strength. This is the best way that I built a crap ton of muscle. My freshman year of college, I was 180, and by my senior year, I was 260. And I definitely went more the strength side and packed on a ton of muscle. One of my flaws was I didn't focus on nutrition. And so I will give you a rundown of that to help you so you don't make the same mistakes I did. So when it comes to the workout itself, how many reps in sets? So we said hypertrophy, you're doing more higher reps and less weight. When you're doing strength, you want to aim for lower reps. So anything from like 4 to 8 reps, and you could even push it to 10. You want to be able to increase your weight and be able to get a little bit more rest during that so that you can actually perform and see the results of your work that you did in your hypertrophy phase. When we look at how to build the program itself, aim for 6 to 8 exercises in each workout. And I coach full body. I've been training full body. One, for me, it's easier with my clients. It's allowed me to see them maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And it allows me to challenge them and get full body. So I'm seeing them train every part of their body 3 times a week. There is the traditional bodybuilding style, which is like chest, arms, legs, shoulders, back, biceps. You could also do it like the push-pull method, which is like back and bis, chest and tris, and then legs like quads, hips. There are different variations. They're all about the same. The problem with the bodybuilding method is that if you miss a day, let's say you have to work out 5 days out of the week, you miss a day because school or life, then you've missed that day completely in the week. And so let's say you miss leg day for the 3rd week in a row, your legs are going to grow disproportionately to your upper body, which most people do. They use like, I'm going to skip leg day and I'm going to do arms instead. When you do full body, you basically work every single body part. You're actually hitting more frequency of that exercise, and that body part, you're going to be able to grow a lot more. And trust me, I built my legs to pretty big size. I've been doing this for a long time too, and I do it with my clients, and I've seen some great results for clients who want to build muscle, for clients who want to lose weight. Like, this is the best way to do it. I promise you. So what are these 7 different movement patterns? I'll break these down. So first you have your pulls. So you have vertical pulls. So think about like a lat pull down or even pull ups. You have your horizontal pull. So that's when your more chest is down. You can do rows. You can do carries or deadlifts. Those would all be considered like a horizontal pulling movements. You have your pushes. Same thing. You have vertical push, could be like a shoulder press or a landmine press, even like an incline press, dumbbell presses here. Or you have your horizontal pushes, which could be bench press or push-ups or chest flies. Next, you have your knee dominant movements. Those are anything that involves your quads, so like squats, split squats, lunges. Those would all count as knee dominant movements. Then you have hip dominant movements, which could be like glute bridges, deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, any kind of hinging movement. And you're going to be working the posterior side. So like your butt, your hamstrings, adductors a little bit. You have your core. So this is the last one. Core is just a big section. You have anti-flexion, which is basically your trunk doesn't want to flex when you're holding in a position. So like a plank position or carries with like dumbbells for shoulders. You get your traps, you're going to work on stability, posture. You have anti-extension, so you don't want to extend. So like a plank or a bird dog or even like an ab wheel rollout, those would all be anti-extensions. You have anti-rotation, which is resisting trunk rotation as other body parts move. So you can do like a pay-off press if you have a band or cable and you're standing or you're kneeling, any type of position, and you're pressing out while the band's out to the side. That's going to work anti-rotation. And anti-lateral flexion, we don't want any side bending. That would be like a side plank or a suitcase carry. So you have like one kettlebell or dumbbell, and you're just doing like a hold there. So you want to work your core basically in all different fashions to train it. You don't just want to do like crunches, and like crunches are really old style of working out your abs. Like you can do a lot. So work your entire core, your core wraps around all the way around you. The better that you train your body in all planes of motion, how you in like a 360 motion, not just curls or just doing things that you see, move your entire body. If you do that, you're going to protect your back, you're going to protect your core, you're going to build a well-rounded body. And if that's one of your goals, to get muscular and to just build a great body, that's the way to do it. And if you do it, I promise you, you'll see results really quickly. Now that we've covered the 7 different movement patterns, bilateral versus unilateral. So what does that mean? So bilateral, think of like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, bench press together. Unilateral is like split squats, alternating dumbbell presses, alternating bicep curls, one thing at a time. Suitcase carry, so it's one arm. So any movements that require one side and then the other. It's good to do both. So if you work out 3 days a week, you can do really like whatever your goals are for the program. And so let's say you're in this foundation program, you did 3 days for the week. You would do maybe 2 days unilateral, 1 day bilateral. And then your focus would just be on the unilateral days to get stronger. Let's say you're in a cycle later on in your hypertrophy and you want to build your bilateral strengths because you want to work on your squat, your deadlift, and your bench press. Then you would maybe do 2 days of bilateral, 1 day of unilateral. Let's say your balance sucks, then I would say always do 2 days of unilateral, 1 day of bilateral. I know it sounds a little confusing, but I'll put up a little infographic that makes it a little bit easier. Basically, you get to choose and you get to make it as complex as you want or as simple as you want. I say when you do it, the unilateral versus bilateral, it makes it really simple because then you're like, what movements can I do today or for this program that are bilateral movements? I can do my bench, I can do my squats, I can do my deadlift, I can do rows, I can do pull-ups, I could do a shoulder press, boom. And I could do ab wheel rollout. I can do carries with kettlebells. So you're working your entire body. Again, personal preference of how you want to break that up and basically on how many days you're working out. Reps and sets. So in your foundation program or your first 4 weeks, and I'll put up an example of what a bilateral day and a unilateral day is. You get copy of the exercises. If you want more, I can even go in more detail with these 2 days and I'll show you demos with exercises. If you want, I could do that. Reps and sets. For a foundation program, just stick with 3 sets and about 8 to 12 reps. You want to use a scale to measure your effort. And easy way to do that is by RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion. So that is basically how hard you are working. That scale is personal to you. And so that scale goes from 0 to 10. 10 is max effort, 0 is no effort. So let's say the first day you did your first workout was the bench press, squat, deadlift, pull-ups, shoulder press, and rows. Let's say you did all the exercises, you did 12 reps of them, 3 sets, and it was like a 6 effort. So challenging, but not too hard. Next week, you do that same workout again. Let's say that got even easier with the same weights that you did. Then that's good. Week 3, you made some progress. You increased the weight, but the reps still stayed the same. You still did 12 reps of everything. Still RPE of 6. Last week, fourth week, you did the same thing, but you increased weight. And let's say that your body got used to that, then, and it still felt kind of easy. So then you went down to RPE of 5. So when you go into your next program, let's say the hypertrophy program, you now know these are the weights that I did, and that was like a RPE of 5. It's pretty easy. I want to get to like a 7, 8 for my RPE. So let's bump it up a little bit. We're going to go a little bit more reps. We're going to aim for 15 reps this time, and we're going to challenge ourselves. So when you do more reps, it's going to be harder to do. So you probably want to stick with where you were on week 4 with the weights, test it out for the first week, and then week 2, that was still pretty easy. So let's bump it up. So increase the weight on everything. Hope that made sense. For sets, 3 is a good number. It really depends on how much time you have too. It's like if you have 2 hours at the gym, like go bananas with it. You do like 4 sets or 5 sets of whatever. Or that, like when you do 5 sets in a hypertrophy phase, like you're gonna burn out. And the goal of hypertrophy is to almost hit to failure because that's where you're gonna see most muscle growth. In all programs, hypertrophy, strength, whatever it is, the research has shown that you want to be able to train to about 80% effort. So that 8 on your RPE scale. And again, you don't want to go immediately into that you want to work in your cycle or your program. You want to work up to that. So then you'll have continuous growth. If you're always trying to like max out every single time, then you're not going to see any growth. You don't want to really change the rep scheme because if you change the rep scheme within a cycle, then you're changing too many variables. And when you change too many variables in a program, then we kind of defeat the purpose of building muscle or getting stronger. So I know you said you wanted to build muscle and you want some body composition. Well, hypertrophy will help with that, and so will strength. And if you want to keep progressing, it's foundation, hypertrophy, strength, hypertrophy, strength, hypertrophy, strength. You could stay in a strength phase or hypertrophy phase for 2 cycles if you want. Like, let's say you did 6 weeks of the hypertrophy phase and you said like, hey, this is really good. I really like that. And you want to build more muscle, then let's do that. So you do foundation, hypertrophy, hypertrophy, strength, strength, hypertrophy, hypertrophy, strength, strength, or however you want to do it. Really like have fun, experiment with it. Like there's no wrong way to do this. It's just make sure you have a plan, you write this stuff down. So if you really want to see the results and you really want to get stronger and improve and have fun with it, follow this plan and do the whole movement patterns. Like if you just train arms or upper body, like you're going to develop a great upper body, but then you'll be one of those guys who have like toothpick legs. And vice versa, if you just train legs, you're going to have an undeveloped upper body. Remember, don't let your ego get ahead of you as you start to lift weights and get better. And also remember that in the beginning stages, so in the first 2 years, you're going to see the most growth. You're going to see the most growth. You're going to go from lifting 20-pound weights for your bench press to probably lifting 135, 185, 225 in 3 years. It's if you're consistent with it. But if you are inconsistent with that, you're not going to see the results as quickly. So track your progress, please. And you're going to see big jumps in how your strength increases. So I know you said you didn't want to get so crazy big, but if you just follow a plan and you stick to it, like you will see really good results quickly. Going towards nutrition. Boom, 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 the hard part. So this is where the mindfulness component comes in, as well as the resiliency. In terms of if you're trying to get rid of some fat or your stomach and gain a more muscular body, an aesthetic, eat food. So prioritize protein. Think of protein as a palm. 1 serving is about 20 to 30 grams. For most men, you should be aiming for 6 to 8 servings a day. Females, about 4 to 6. And for my non-binary and trans friends, start in the middle of that both end ranges. So start at like 5 to 6 and adjust to your lifestyle. And so let's say you did 5 servings of protein and that you're starting to see some good changes from that, like more energy, more like ability to work out, you're recovering better, then that's like boom. Then maybe in 2 weeks, add another serving. But for anything with nutrition, always just focus on one thing every 2 weeks. I know like you want to do everything now really quickly, but the slower you take your time with adding in one macronutrient at a time and eat however you're eating and prioritize, just like in your workouts, like prioritize one thing and then build on top of that. So you know what works for your body. If you try to change too many things all at once, you're not going to know what worked. And you have an entire lifetime to work out, and you're going to have to. If you want to maintain your body, once you get this body, you're just not going to stop. So this is something you have to do the rest of your life. Like I coach clients in their 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, teens. And so I've worked with everyone. And going through a decade of fitness in my own journey, you have to keep doing it. But as you get older, you have less time to work on those things. So you have to be really smart with your time. And so when you're young, if I could do it all over again, I would probably keep it the same actually. But if I were to do it again, like I would really focus on the nutrition piece and the recovery piece from the get-go. So prioritize protein and then get vegetables in. You're in college. I don't know what your meal plans look like, but if you have meal plans and you're eating, like prioritize your protein as much as possible. Get veggies in, carbs and fats. Those are the tricky ones. Let's start with carbs. Think of smart carbs. So anything like whole grain, anything more slower digestive, multi-grain types of carbohydrates. Stay away from anything processed. The less processed food you get, the better. It will save you in the long run. It'll help with digestion. It'll help you lose weight faster. It'll help you build muscle faster. When we just eat processed foods, our body, it's not real. It's manufactured. You don't do anything crazy here. Just like brown rice instead of white rice, or whole grain pasta, or breads, potatoes, sweet potatoes, legumes, beans, fiber, great for you. Oatmeal. If you're trying to build some muscle, like you need to eat. So don't be afraid of that. For carbohydrates, serving is going to be an entire handful. It's going to be for carbs. And so that's about 20, 30 grams. It's about 6 to 8 for men, 4 to 6 for women. And for my trans and non-binary folks, start in the middle and then see where you're at. And always think about like your body weight too. Like if you are on the lower end or really lightweight, then you're probably gonna go like 3 to 5. If you're on the heavier end or you have a lot of muscle, you're just over 200 pounds, like I'm over 200 pounds, that 6 to 8 might be 6 to 9 servings. And if you have muscle, the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. So as you build more muscle, that might change. For me, I'm 210 pounds. I should be aiming for like 8 to 10 servings of carbs. I don't really get that all the time, but you kind of play around with the carbs and fats. 1 equals 1. There are more calories in fat than there are in carbs, though. 4 calories per gram, 9 calories per gram of fat. I skipped about vegetables. Vegetables is a fist. For everyone, 6 to 8 servings. If you don't get any vegetables in, aim for 2 in a day. Start with that and just slowly try to get then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6 then 7 then 8. You don't have to become a vegetarian or vegan, but plant-based foods are great for you. You're going to have more energy. You are going to feel better. You are going to have a great digestive system. It's more filling because you're chewing more. It has a lot more fiber in it, and it's all real food. So get your veggies in, period, for everyone. If you are vegetarian or vegan, make sure you're getting like a vitamin B12 supplement in, because plants do not have a full complete amino acid profile. Vegetable proteins are usually missing like 1 amino acid. So make sure you supplement that with a B12. Okay, that can make a huge difference in how you feel, especially if you're new to becoming a vegan or vegetarian. Remember that. Last one, fats. Thumb-sized serving. That equates to 9 calories per gram of fat. So proteins, carbs, and like vegetables are about 4 calories per gram. And so just remember that. Fats, you want to think healthy fats. So the oils you cook with, you want extra virgin or avocado or olive oil are great oils to cook with. How much oil you put in to cook your foods, like that still counts, because it's going to coat the vegetables or the proteins that you cook. So be generous with how much fats, like oils you put, or butter. Like butter is fine. Like butter isn't the healthiest fat, but There's a lot of fat in American diet, so there's some things you can't control, especially if you're not cooking, if you're eating at a food hall. Nuts, nut butters, all great. Aged cheese, great. Oils, avocados, a great fat source. About 4 to 6 servings for females, 6 to 8, again, thumb size serving. And then my trans and non-binary folks, find yourself in the middle and then kind of see where do you fit on that scale. And especially for my females, just know that healthy fats are really good for you, especially if you have menstrual cycles. It will help with hormonal balance. So if you're someone who just doesn't eat fats or you're eating the wrong types of fats, that could be problems with like your underlying health problems if you have any. So making sure that you're eating the healthy fats can make a huge difference. I used to like think fats were bad, and of course I was just eating the wrong fats. And when I started implementing them, like skin started getting better, my hair started getting better. Like there's so many things in my body that started to feel better because I was eating more healthier fats. So make sure you get those in. People always think about like fruits are bad for you, but like they didn't kill anybody. So eat fruits, like get your vitamins from there. Some pro tips and just reminders as you're going through this journey of life and working out and just starting to work on some self-improvement is to take care of not just your physical health, but your mental and emotional health. And you'll experience this if you haven't already, if people watching this, body dysmorphia, hating your body, how it looks as you progress and as you get better. Like you'll have days where you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with my body? Or I hate it. And just know that that's normal. A good way to fix that is be a little self-compassionate to yourself. Write sticky note letters to you, like praising yourself, or take a video journal or journal. Like that's the best way to do it, is like, and put markers for yourself too for how you progress. Especially as a gay man, which body image issues are so apparent in the community. Like, know why you're doing this. Don't just do this for vanity looks. Yes, the vanity looks it's simple and it's easy and it's fun to see as you progress and get better. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love my body and I'm proud of it. But don't let that get so caught up in your head. Why are you really doing this? Are you doing this to change your life? Are you doing this to feel good? Are you trying to change yourself completely? Those are all great examples to have as goals. Like they don't have to be all objective numbers. Like I need to get to 200 pounds or I want to lose 20 pounds. They could be like, I want to feel good or I want to feel strong. Those are great subjective goals that you can have too. So when you're tying in the physical with the nutrition, with the mental and emotional, you're a lot more connected to yourself too. So don't be afraid to also try different things. You don't have to just lift. You can do other activities, like you can do rock climbing, Pilates, or yoga. It's actually great to do exercises that aren't just all weights all the time. From someone who used to lift and squat over 450 pounds, like I love lifting. I love it so much. But you don't have to be like that if you don't want to. Like you're allowed to create a lifestyle and a workout plan that works for you. So if you do cardio, cool. You're not going to lose the muscle that you build. People will say that, but it's not true. Like I swam in college the entire time and I was lifting and I still got to 260. Like the swimming did not actually help me lose weight, which I wanted it to. Cardio will help you build a stronger cardiovascular system, which will allow you to lift more weights and lift longer and stronger. So don't forget the cardio piece. That's what I did my first couple of years and it bit me in the ass. And it's a lot more work to have a more balanced routine because you're working different energy systems. There's a lot of misinformation and a lot of perception of what working out is, and you don't have to listen to other people. Like there's so much trash. And that's why I'm doing this, because people just don't know or haven't spent time doing this. Like I've been doing this for a decade. I've been coaching for 8 years. I've coached in so many different capacities. I've worked with clients who are athletes. I've been a part of that journey for the last 10 years. from my teens to my 20s. So I know how the body works and just a general consensus of what different adaptations to your training can facilitate. And the biggest myth is that like cardio, if you do cardio, you're going to lose your muscle. That's completely false. So don't follow that. If you want to work out, strength training 3 times a week, cardio 2 times a week, or cardio 1 time a week, and yoga 2 times a week, perfect. Don't forget the recovery component of it. So make sure you actually rest, because if you don't rest in between your days and you're just going hard every single day, you're not going to recover. Your immune system is going to be shot. Your nervous system is going to be shot, especially when you're lifting or you get into those heavier weights or more strength focused. If you don't recover, you're going to lead to bigger problems down the road. And take that from my advice. So have a more holistic approach to this, especially when you're new and young to this, and you'll have a great experience. I hope you'll thank me in 20 years. Your body will love you. You'll be able to do this till you're 100 years old, I hope. Like, just take care of yourself, do it well, and don't rush things, because it'll all come to you. You just have to be consistent and do the things. I promise. So take care of your body, take care of yourself, and good luck with this journey that you're going on. And that's it. If you have any questions on anything fitness, mindfulness, or well-being related, I am happy to break them down. Just send me a DM, or you could send me a message on YouTube. For now, I'm just going to use Reddit and answer people's questions, because nobody has any questions for me. So if you want me to continue to do this, let me know, and I will keep working on this because it's fun.